Have you ever just stopped to think about language? I mean, really think about it. How do we get here using these complex sentences to share, well, everything?
It's one of the biggest questions, isn't it? From basic sounds or gestures to this.
Exactly. It's maybe our most powerful tool. And today, for this deep dive, we're looking into a really provocative theory you brought up from the sources, the Odam Tilly theory.
That's right. It's quite something.
It proposes that Adam, the figure from the Bible and Quran, Odam in Turkic, wasn't just the first human. Critically, he was the first human to use structured acoustic language, spoken language.
And that's just the start.
Right, because the theory then says Adam was Turkic, and that all languages today, English, French, Spanish, you name it, they track back phonetically to that original Turkic system.
It fundamentally reframes that whole origin story.
It really does. A completely different lens on human existence.
So, okay, let's unpack this. It sounds fascinating. So, okay, before structured speech, what was it like? Can we even imagine communication without sound playing the main role? What did that pre-acoustic time look like?
Yeah, it's tough to picture now. The Odam Tully theory calls it the gesture era. Communication was, mostly visual, kinetic.
So, lots of hand movements, body language.
Exactly. Hand shapes, gestures, pointing, body movements. It was all about what you could see. Very direct, very immediate, tied completely to the here and now.
Okay, so it worked for immediate things like look over there or give me that. But I can already see some major drawbacks.
Oh, definitely. The theory highlights some big limitations. Firstly, he was really present-bound. You couldn't easily talk about yesterday or plan for tomorrow, only what was right in front of you.
Right. No abstract concepts much, I guess.
That's very difficult. And second, there was a dyadic limitation. It worked okay for one-on-one IU interactions.
But talking about someone else or telling a story to a group, almost impossible with just gestures. And then there's maybe the biggest one, the tool-bound constraint.
What's that?
Think about it.
Yeah.
What if your hands are busy? Carrying something heavy
Or fighting, holding a tool, a weapon.
Precisely. In combat or just doing manual work, your hands are occupied. Your main communication channel just shuts down. You can't signal effectively, which logically leads you to ask, okay, what could possibly force such a massive change, moving from something so visual to relying on sound?
Yeah, what was the trigger?
Well, the Odom-Tilly theory offers a pretty specific and maybe surprising catalyst. A military need.
Military.
Yes. The argument is that structured acoustic language wasn't just casual chatter that evolved slowly. It was invented out of military necessity.
How so?
Imagine warriors with axes, spears, swords. Their hands are full. They can't use gestures for commands in battle.
Ah, okay. I see that.
So sound-based commands become crucial for tactics, coordination,
Fighting.
and sound travels right over the noise of conflict, over distances.
That makes a certain kind of sense, like a practical solution to a high-stakes problem.
Exactly. The theory even draws a parallel to things like ARPANET, the internet's precursor. Started as a U.S. military project, technology born from strategic need, then adopted more widely.
Okay, that idea of language as a sort of weaponized communication protocol initially, that's a really striking image. But why Turkic people specifically? What does the theory say about them?
Yeah, this is where the civilizational argument fits in. The theory looks at the historical trajectory of Turkic peoples. They often expanded through conquest, right? Integrating various tribes.
Wow.
So they were mobile, conquering, constantly interacting with different groups. The argument is that only this kind of society would have felt the pressure to develop a universal, portable acoustic code. A language that works anywhere with anyone under their umbrella.
Unlike, say, a settled farming village.
Exactly. A small, sedentary group might get by just fine with gestures for generations. Their world is smaller, interactions more predictable. But this Turkic model, this expansion and integration, it demanded scalable speech.
So not just village gossip evolving, but something more like a system designed for expansion.
That's the core idea. It wasn't gradual, accidental chatter. It was more like an intentionally developed protocol, a tool for conquest and administration initially.
Wow. Okay, so let's connect this back to Adam, or Odam. If he's the first speaker in this Turkic context, does his name itself hold clues, according to the theory?
Yes, the theory argues that etymology is key. It dives right into the Turkic roots of Odam.
And what does it find?
There are a couple of main interpretations offered. One breaks it down like this. O, that sound linked to the round shape your mouth makes when vocalizing. D, representing the human body itself. And am, which in Turkic relates to taking or owning, like the verb almak, to take.
So putting that together, ODAM means?
The first person to speak. Or maybe more literally, the one who owns the body's capacity for acoustic speech. The one who took speech.
Huh. Okay, that's fascinating. Is that the only reading?
There's an alternate one presented, too. It starts with A, seen as that first cry of a baby, the first vocal sound, right? Then D is still the body, and AM is still taking or owning. So this reading suggests the first to take ownership of voice.
So in both versions, the name isn't just first man. It's fundamentally about being the first speaker.
Exactly. That's the crucial distinction the theory makes. His identity is tied directly to the act of speaking. Language defines him, and by extension, humanity.
That really shifts the focus, doesn't it? Makes language absolutely central to what it means to be human from the very beginning.
Mhm.
And it's striking that this isn't just an ancient linguistic theory. You're saying the word Adam still carries this weight in Turkic cultures today. It's more than just the word for human.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just a neutral label. It carries a significant moral and social weight even now. Well, to be called Odam in many Turkic contexts is real praise. It means you're seen as a proper person, moral, truthful, responsible, someone who lives up to the ideal of being human.
And the flip side.
The flip side is a powerful insult. If someone lies, cheats, acts without honor, people might say, he is not Odam. Or in some Turkic languages, sen Odam imasan, you are not Odam.
Wow. What does that imply?
It implies they've fallen short of being truly human. They're acting like, well, like an animal, a being without speech, and therefore without that capacity for moral reasoning tied to truthful speech.
That's intense. So it connects speech directly to morality.
Deeply. And it's taught early on. Parents might tell a child who did something wrong without explaining, you are Odam, not an animal that cannot speak. Why didn't you tell us the truth?
So being human, being Odam, means speaking and speaking truthfully. It's a duty.
Exactly. It connects right back to the theory's core. Adam, the first speaker, established this covenant. To be human is to possess speech and to use it responsibly, truthfully. It's not optional, it's fundamental.
Okay, so it's clear this shift to acoustic language wasn't just swapping one communication method for another. It sounds like it fundamentally rewired human thinking. A genuine cognitive leap.
Absolutely. A revolution. Gestural language is powerful but limited. Acoustic language blew the doors open. Think about time, for instance.
How so?
With gestures, you're mostly stuck in the present, but speech lets you expand that horizon dramatically. You can talk about the future, tomorrow, we hunt there. You can discuss the past, recount events.
And talk about people who aren't here right now.
Yes, that's huge. Third-person discourse. He's not here, but he told me. That allows for storytelling, sharing information about others, gossip even, things impossible with just IU gestures.
And abstract thought, did that change too?
Massively. Spoken words can become symbols. They don't have to be tied to a physical object or action. Think about how concepts like the apple or the snake in the Eden story become metaphors later on, representing temptation or wisdom or danger. That abstraction is enabled by acoustic language.
So language becomes this incredible tool for building everything else. Civilization.
Precisely. Planning complex projects, creating laws, sharing history and knowledge across generations, building cultures. It all rests on the foundation of acoustic language.
It makes you wonder, before this fully structured language, were there any simpler sound signals, like stepping stones?
The theory does touch on possible protovocal signs, yes. Very basic sounds expressing fundamental states.
Like what?
Like long vowel sounds, potentially. Maybe ooh associated with water, perhaps mimicking the sound or the shape of cupped hands.
Okay.
Or ooh for up, maybe linked to looking or pointing upwards. E for down. And maybe fear for self, perhaps connected to seeing your reflection, your eye.
So really basic primal sound associations, the raw materials before the structure.
Kind of like the sonic equivalent of pointing. Very early building blocks before you get the complex grammar and vocabulary of Odam's language.
Which brings us to another really interesting part of this theory, the Garden of Eden itself. It suggested that the story isn't just theology or myth, but it actually encodes the basic elements of this first language, like a linguistic key.
Exactly. That's a core interpretive layer of the Odam-Tilly theory. It sees the Eden narrative, Adam, Eve, the tree, the snake, water, as symbolically representing 5 fundamental elements.
Not just characters and props.
Not just characters and props in this reading. They function as what the feeling calls linguistic digits.
Linguistic digits. What's the analogy there?
Think about math. We have 10 digits, 0 through 9, simple on their own. But you combine them, and you can express any number imaginable, infinite values.
Right.
The theory proposes these 5 Edenic archetypes work similarly. They are the fundamental conceptual building blocks. By combining them, you can generate limitless meaning, structure complex thought, build entire conceptual systems.
So Adam's role isn't just the first speaker, but he's like the starting point, the zero in this system.
Precisely. He's seen as the structural 0 point, the origin from which this whole combinatorics of meaning, the system of language and thought, begins.
What an incredible journey we've taken in this deep dive. From imagining a world of silence and gesture.
To the emergence of spoken language, potentially driven by the hard necessities of conflict.
Codified, according to this theory, by a Turkic Adam, Odam, whose very name means speaker.
And carrying this profound moral echo in Turkic culture even today, linking humanity to truthful speech.
It's a powerful narrative.
Yeah.
The theory's conclusion is really quite staggering. If Adam was Turkic, if that was the first structured language, then every language spoken today has roots tracing back to that single phonetic system.
Yes, and that continuity isn't just linguistic, it's also moral. The way Odam signifies a truthful, responsible human in Turkic thought is seen as preserving the very essence of Adam's original gift, language as a moral act.
So, as you think about all this, about this challenging Odam-Tilly theory, you consider this. If being truly human, being Odam, is tied so deeply to speaking truthfully, what responsibility does that place on us, on the words we choose every single day?
And could it be, as the theory hints, that even now, thousands of years later, every conversation, every sentence, still carries a faint echo of that original purpose? Perhaps even that weaponized communication protocol designed for coordination and survival.
Definitely something profound to reflect on language, not just as a tool we use, but as something fundamental to who we are, and maybe even a duty we carry.